What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. This is going to be a talk through of my solo 150 on the Wizard. So I guess this is Road to Solo 150 and we've actually managed to get one of them done, which is pleasing. I think I made a little bit of a mistake when setting the build up. I realised that this morning when I woke up. I had the wrong rune on. So this was the last failed attempt, I think, before we actually cleared it. I think I fished about 20 or 30 keys. The gems were like 140 at the time. So as you can see here, we're just popping in and out. Because obviously the main thing about clearing like the highest rift you can possibly clear, of course, is the map. And we're rejecting these kind of substandard corridor based maps. You know, we really, even this with the woods stuff just kind of bumps into trees. We're looking really for festering woods or battlefields, not like a depth keeps like this. So I thought we'd talk through the clear, talk through the build, and just give you some tips. So thumbs up if this content is useful, brightens my day. So we start off in a battlefields, and I think initially we start thinking we've got a chance because I'm not a particularly good pusher. I'm a distinctly average player at this game. So in terms of pushing, I'm definitely below average. But I do notice that as soon as we get in, I can actually start to kill a few of these enemies. So then it becomes just a question of getting that little bit of RNG to go our way. Can we kill enough enemies to get a nice pylon? Can we use the pylon? You know, is it going to be something useful like a conduit, a shield, or a power pylon to allow us to piggyback into the next one? And obviously, as you're trying to push as far as you can, the most important thing always is going to be getting that nice conduit pylon. We are, of course, using the Star Pact rune on the Wizard. It seems to be the one that does the most damage. The mistake that I made in setting the build up is I put deflection on the magic weapon instead of the conduit. So I'm not actually getting as much arcane power back as I should do. So that would, in theory, give me a bit more damage, and that might have made these push attempts a little bit easier because more damage would have meant more chances to get that initial kind of little bit of progress going on the purple bar on the right hand side, because the way that the mechanics of pylons work is in the higher the purple bar, the bigger chance you've got of them spawning at a spawn location. So you can't just teleport into a map and hunt around looking for a pylon. I think at this point I realised that actually we might be quite lucky here, because those gigantic blue enemies that chuck off the little maggot things are really handy, because it'll give us lots of ocular circles to jump into, gives us lots of area damage activation, and I'm just thinking, well, let's hope that the game doesn't lag out whilst I'm doing this, and then if we get lucky with the pylon, then perhaps we can do it. But obviously still at the moment, you know, we are a little bit behind. We're getting not particularly great uptime on the squirts because the shield that we've got just isn't always up. But we're just trying to get lucky with our potion pops. We're trying to jump in these pink ocular circles here, the extra damage, the triune circles, ocular circles like now. But ultimately we're trying to make sure that we just don't die, basically. I've got no cheat death on. The follower is carrying that. Again, I went for the Enchantress, 10% extra damage on the element of choice. I think actually, having done a lot of the pushing and fishing, it seemed maybe like the Templar would have been better, simply because he does offer some life per second and some healing. And I think actually the thing I was struggling the most with was probably being a little bit squishy. And again, just maybe I just needed to fish more to get some kind of mobs that weren't going to be overly problematic from a incoming damage point of view. But again, at this moment, I'm just thinking, well, if we can burn these two elites down, because there's the blues, the maggot broods, and there's a yellow kicking about in here somewhere. I'm just thinking, well, if we can get those two, you never know your luck on the pylon. I think on my previous push attempts, I'd had pretty crappy luck. I was just getting cooldown pylons and speed pylons, which a speed pylon is useful, for stacking stricken at the end, if that's something that you're taking. But like at this point here, it would have been probably not very helpful for the run. I do have the Stricken in. Again, it was a real toss-up between that and Powerful. I really haven't invested in my Powerful gem with Bane of the Powerful. It's only at rank like 80 something. I've just completely neglected it. I think because I thought that my first push would be with Stricken anyway, so I've leveled that up to like 138 or something like that. And again, I think on reflection, I probably should have just used the Powerful and had that at like 140. The only downside with it is of course it does drop off if you die, and on the previous attempts I had died a few times. And now of course we get the second piece of luck here. We've got a conduit, and I'm just thinking, right, well, let's hope we get lucky again, and there is another enemy, and we find it. So we've got a flying yellow, blue there. We're going to get one out of the conduit, and I think is the one further up here as well. It might just be a triple, but it's going to be really good progress because the conduit just melts everything for us. And at this point, my heart starts beating. I'm starting to think, holy shit, we might actually do this. And yeah, I'm just thinking, don't die. Just don't die. As long as we don't die, we should be fine here. We're trying to kind of manage the packs that they come towards each other a little bit. But also making sure that we don't leave anything behind, like that little guy who had got stuck, I think, on the side of the map. I mean, I could have explored up there to the right as well, which obviously I didn't bother doing. I think I just thought, well, the exit's probably going to be down here, so we'll try and get this yellow as well. And then all we need is a little bit of luck on the next map, decent-ish map, not mobs that are going to cause us difficulty with toughness. And obviously another juicy pylon would be handy, and just trying to jump into those triune circles. Another thing actually this morning I thought about, the cold skill that we'd opted for was the frozen mist. I think actually black hole would have been better because it basically would have allowed for a little bit of grouping. I don't think it made much difference, but I think if I retry this at some point in the future, I will probably try black hole for the grouping. Yeah, and other than that, we're trying to manage teleport as often as we can, just to make sure that we have got the damage reduction up. Again, we're trying to see if this yellow will follow us down the map. Conduit's run out now, but I'm just thinking, well, we might get a second pylon, which we do, which is shield. I just think, well, let's pop this just immediately because I know a shield pylon is quite a lot of damage. I'd be a little surprised if there's much more on the map. And again, the dreaded lag is coming back because this was like Saturday night, 6 o'clock UK time, which is pretty much prime time. I'm just thinking, please don't lag out. Please don't lag out. But with the shield pylon, we now are immune. We've got 100% uptime on the squirts. So I'm just trying to stand here with the lag, the area damage is going, chunking everything down. Just thinking, please, just please just complete. Yeah, I think this guy was a real problem. I don't really know why. I don't know if his hitbox is funky but it took ages to burn this guy down. We then get a little bit of luck because we go straight into a channeling pylon. So, the map, really, 3 pylons has been really, really good to us. So this is like an ideal kind of scenario. And again, we're just thinking, well, this is a really good chance now. We're very ahead on timer. We've got one yellow with a good chunk gone. We've got a blue pack as well. So once we do those off, we should be far ahead on time. So now, really, the only thing that can get in the way is lag or my own ineptitude, which I was a little bit worried about. As you can see, I'm starting to panic now, mashing the buttons, accidentally pressing tab instead of, I think, probably shift for force standstill. But getting exciting because I'm thinking I've never done 150 before. This is the first time I'm going to get it done. And yeah, unless I get absolutely stiffed on the next map with RNG, we should do it. But we know we've still got power pylon. We know we've still got speed. So either of those at this stage I think are pretty useful. Power would allow us to pretty much insta-finish the map. And as it so happens, we get speed pylon. I do have a little bit of a brain fart moment here. We end up with a flying blue pack, which is not great because they do move around a lot, which is a little bit annoying. And I'm thinking, right, I really should be getting this done now. This should be it because the speed will allow me to kill the boss fast because it'll allow me to stack up my Bane of the Stricken. And I think I was trying to think, look, can I kill enough stuff to pop the speed just before the progress bar fills up? Because I don't really want to take it too early. I think, like, looking back now, there's so much time left, it would have been fine. I could have just popped it immediately, and it would have been absolutely fine. And I think that probably would have been the sensible play. But I start getting in my head, well, if I can kill this blue, then maybe it'll be at like 99% or something like that. And it's, I mean, it's not the greatest pack to be trying to fight. It's illusionist. It's, you know, they all move around. It's very hard to actually kind of hit them, I think. Then I start thinking, well, maybe if I can get a little bit more trash, I can get them killed. And I'm completely at this point forgetting that we've got the gigantic pickup radius. And I'm thinking, well, even if I kill the blue, I'll leave one of the orbs. I won't collect it. I'll go pop the pylon. It'll spawn the elite and I'll come grab the progress orb. Because obviously, first 150 of the season, panicking a little bit, mashing buttons. I'm not really thinking clearly about it. So I think, again, probably I should have just, you know, maybe at this point now I could have popped it and tried to finish this blue. But I'm just thinking, well, I'm struggling a little bit with killing it. I really don't want to screw it up from this position. I just want to make sure I get the clear done. So we're trying to just get a little bit of trash for a bit more area damage to, you know, if these flying annoying things at some point do manage to get actually hit by meteors. And now I start to really worry because we've just procced cheat death, which you can see at the bottom there with the little hourglass. I think, well, do I really want to be taking the speed on the cheat death on the follower? Do I want to wait for that to pass? Yeah, obviously, again, this is just like kind of showing my personal inexperience with pushing. We do kill the blue now, and I go, oh shit, because I can't not collect the orbs. So we now have to fight the boss with an elite as well. So in some ways, this makes it more problematic because the elites are obviously sponging some of the damage for the boss. Theoretically, we get a little bit of ocular circles and a little bit of area damage, but I think I would have much preferred to fight the butcher, the mancarver, on its own. So again, a little bit more panic, pressing tab. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my god, I've completely balls this up. Why am I fighting two things at once? I should have had this absolutely in the bag. No problem, no question. I'm just thinking, I can't believe I've cocked this up. Fairly encouraged by the fact the boss is like taking about 20% damage so far, and I'm running through the time that's left thinking, well, that should be enough. As long as we don't die, as long as I don't actually drop this cheat death and take too much damage. I should be trying to avoid damage, and I appear to just be standing and everything. But as I say, it's just one of those. There is a little bit of panic creeping in. Boss now to about 70%, so we should get it done. And I think once the minions start dying, once we get off the followers cheat death, I do relax a little bit. Start thinking, well, we can definitely get this done. So, you know, I could have played this map particularly better if my brain had actually been working and engaged. And even with the wrong rune on the magic weapon, we still have managed to get it done. So we probably could have done it a little bit earlier. You just need the nice map. The other 150 clears that I was trying to do, we just didn't get the RNG. We've got some nice maps, not necessarily some nice mobs, and definitely not nice pylons. But this one, aside from getting the cooldown pylon instead of power, was probably perfect. You know, if that cooldown pylon had been power, then that would have been even better. And now we're thinking, well, we've definitely got this done. And I'm about to scream, and my entire family are going, what the hell are you doing? You're a complete weirdo. Why are you screaming? Why are you sat in your office screaming?
Great success.
So yes, that was it. 150 done. Just like, I'm absolutely chuffed to have got it done. Just can't believe I've managed to actually do it. Obviously, it's not particularly difficult as long as you get, I'd say, 1500, 2000 Paragon. If you have a little bit of a practice, if you watch a few videos on how to push, you can do it. You just need a nice map. You know, like that map was an absolute dream. I'm just typing at the bottom, thought I'd balls this up because realistically I had. So in terms of the build, we were missing 3 augments. I've got a non-ancient Carini, a non-ancient Nilf's Boast Boots, and non-ancient Convention of Elements. I did find a nice Squirts necklace that was primal. So that was basically arcane crit, unfortunate intelligence. Gems were about 140, and yeah, that was kind of how we did it. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of this. I hope it was useful for you. I'm probably going to try and do Necro next. It's going to take me, I think, a few days to build up the Necro gear. And then after that, I'm not really sure which class to go for next, but I think we need to work on our guns. I'm going to need a lot more, I think, to actually get this done. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Filthy Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.